If you've ever had the sneaking suspicion that college didn't quite prepare you for the real world, you're not alone. From building healthy habits to networking successfully and managing your personal finances, there's a lot that's left out of the curriculum. Alexa, how do I do my taxes?
Hire a qualified tax professional and don't tax the rich. Jeff Bezos just wants the best for you.
Fair enough. Depending on your degree, the electives you signed up for, and the country you live in, your college experience might have been radically different from mine. But all things considered, college rarely prepares you for the practical life advice that will help you keep your shit together well into adulthood. But hey, who needs a six-figure degree when you have YouTube? In this video, I want to dive into the 10 biggest things that college doesn't teach you, and also provide you with resources and tips to help you course correct. And pay attention, because this will be on the test. So before we get into it, I want to thank my sponsor for this week's video, Storyblocks. When I got started as a filmmaker, I was a pretty stubborn person. I was determined to shoot every single frame of every single video I made. And that was largely because when I got started, stock footage was uninspiring. It was filled with bad actors, people pointing at screens, and very little diversity. But that's all changing thanks to Storyblocks. With Storyblocks' unlimited all-access subscription plan, I now have unlimited access to over 1 million assets of royalty-free video, audio, and music for my videos. From unreal aerial shots to authentic footage of everyday life. So if you're an online creator and you want to save time, money, and up the production value of your content, then visit storyblocks.com/MattDiabella to sign up for an unlimited plan today. Or you can click the link down in the description below. When you support Storyblocks, you support my channel. So thank you, and thanks to Storyblocks for sponsoring this video. Number 1, basic personal finance. While I didn't know the basics of personal finance when I graduated college, nor did I even know what compound interest meant, I soon learned that it's really not all that complicated. Most financial experts on TV try to make things sound really confusing for 2 reasons. 1, to make them look smart, and 2, to make you feel like you need their advice, but you don't. Here are the most important practical personal finance lessons that I've learned over the past few years that will help you get started on the right foot. First, save more than you spend. I know this sounds absurdly simple, but we really need to cut down to the basics. You have to actually save more money than you're spending every month. Number 2, never make purchases on a credit card if you don't have the cash. 3, invest in yourself and your skills. Find books and courses and resources that will give you a legitimate return on your investment. There's lots of free stuff out there, but there's also some really great paid content as well. 4, save up an emergency fund of $1,000 or more to protect you from the inevitable shit that life throws at you. I guarantee you will need this, and you'll be glad that you saved it up when you do. Number 5, pay off all your debt as soon as you possibly can. And number 6, open up a retirement account. If your company matches your 401k or retirement plan, then you should make sure that you invest before paying off your debt, because this is free money and you don't want to miss out on it. And by the way, if you're having trouble figuring out where to invest your retirement funds, I have a really easy solution for you. Use target retirement accounts. Companies like Vanguard have created target retirement funds based on the year that you plan to retire. So if you expect to retire in 2050, you could simply put all your retirement savings into the Vanguard Target Retirement 2050 fund. It's set up with a variety of mutual funds, so the investment is already diversified. And over time, the fund is going to get more conservative as you get closer to retirement, so you will be taking fewer risks, which is a great thing. If you're looking for free resources on personal finance, check out the Personal Finance subreddit. Click on the Wiki button, and you'll find tons of reliable advice on doing your taxes, investing, and paying off your debt. Number 2, how to actually get a job. Yes, college is about exploration and self-discovery, but when you strip it all back, one of the main reasons people actually go to college is to get a good job. I mean, you wouldn't actually pay that kind of money just for the experience, would you? Burning Man is a hell of a lot cheaper, and I hear they have way better drugs.
I don't know, it sounds pretty good to me.
Unfortunately, most of our time in college is spent learning from decades-old textbooks, and very little of it prepares us for actually landing our first job, and then our second and third, and so on. Here's what I've learned. If you're in a creative field, your resume doesn't matter. Your work matters. Before I was a YouTuber, I was a freelance filmmaker, and during almost a decade's worth of work with hundreds of different clients, not a single one of them asked to look at my resume. Nobody once asked where I graduated college, and not a single person cared about my GPA. If you're in a creative field, clients and employers care about one thing above all, that you can reliably deliver quality work. And to show them that you can do that, you need an impressive reel showing examples of said work. Now, if you're in a more technical field, your resume is gonna matter a bit more. And for those people, here's my advice. 1, keep your resume to 1 page. 2, focus on your accomplishments. And 3, forget about your resume. Seriously, you don't need it. Think about this. There are hundreds of people that are applying for the same position that you want. How are you gonna stand out? Can you build a website? Can you start your own side business? Can you learn how to effectively cold email employers, even if a job isn't posted online? I've personally hired a number of freelancers over the years simply because they sent me a cold email with some great ideas. Ask yourself again and again, how can I stand out? And please, for the love of God, don't send your potential employer a cake with your resume on it, unless you're applying to work at a bakery. In that case, that's a great idea. Number 3, how to never get a job, or how to live an unconventional life. If college is one thing, it's conventional. It's the way things have always been done, and it's moving way slower than the world around us. And in the past few years, we've seen massive changes. There's a movement of people working from home, millions who have switched jobs for better offers, and just as many people taking the leap to freelance or starting their own business. Having a job used to be the goal. Our parents' and grandparents' idea of a good life was to work hard for one company for 40 years, get a decent pension, and an engraved pen at the end of retirement. That's not the dream anymore. Now we understand that if you're gonna work 40+ hours a week, we better actually enjoy it. And we realize that it's more important to have flexible work so we can actually make room for the things that matter most in life. I'm lucky in that after I graduated college, I never got a real job. I was a bit early to the world of freelance. I was so early, in fact, that people still thought that self-employed was just another word for unemployed. But now it's more possible than ever to turn a skill into your own thing, to build a flexible schedule and a life that you love. Whether you already know this or not, it's worth repeating. You don't need a 9-to-5. You don't need to make 6 figures a year, and you can live a much simpler life than you currently are. And this all takes a hell of a lot of courage, because when you follow an unconventional path, it requires you to push through a world of fear and self-doubt. Number 4, how to build healthy habits. College students are known to have some pretty terrible habits. Whether it's fueled by procrastination, partying, or overwhelming curriculums, many students develop less than desirable habits just to keep up. Fast food diets, excessive alcohol, and all-night caffeine-filled cram sessions are the norm for many undergrads. And while I think it's totally okay to keep things loose while you're young, a lot of people have trouble adapting and building healthy habits later in life. And these habits are the foundation of living a meaningful life. We are the sum of all the small decisions and behaviors that we act on every day. So if you're looking to finally get your habits to stick, here are the most important things you need to know. Control your environment. If you learn to control your environment, you can learn to control your habits. Keep the junk food and alcohol out of the house. Get clear on your why. What are you working towards? What's the motivation behind your action? Call on this when times get tough. Track your habits. Use an app, journal, or better yet, print out a habit tracker and tape it to your fridge. You're not looking to make radical changes overnight. You're looking for momentum. Use the 2-day rule. When building a new habit, make a promise to yourself that you will not take 2 days off in a row. Among all the habit tactics I've tried, this one has been the most effective for me. Above all, remember this. You are not perfect. You will fail, you will make mistakes, and you will fall off the wagon. But when you have a plan for when you do inevitably fail, you'll be far more likely to get back on track. Number 5, networking like a human. Networking feels like a dirty word, but it gets to the point quicker than saying how to meet people that could become your best friend or at the very least create a mutually beneficial working relationship. I've always hated the idea of networking. It always just felt forced and inauthentic and icky to me. And that's because I always thought it was about extracting value from other people. We often go to networking events on the hunt, asking ourselves, what can I get out of this? But everything changed for me when I flipped it around and asked, what can I give? Networking is only sleazy when you're trying to get something out of the connection rather than giving. Whether you're sending a cold email or meeting someone for coffee, you need to ask, what can you do to help this person achieve their goals? The self-help OG Zig Ziglar put it best. You will get all you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. Number 6, how to create a life outside of work. If you play your cards right, enroll in the right classes, and luck out by knowing exactly what career you want to pursue at 18 years old, you might learn some things in college that set you up to be a productive employee. But while college might teach you a lot about work, it teaches you very little about life. The truth is that when most people enter the workforce, they go all in, especially in the US. We focus on getting that first job, climbing the ranks, transitioning to a better paying job, climbing a little bit higher. We put in the extra hours, squeeze every minute out of our weekends, and find ways to hustle just a little bit harder. But we often put so much of ourselves into work that we actually forget to live. And that's certainly something I experienced firsthand. After graduating, I left my free-spiritedness at my last bar crawl and continued to focus on work. It wasn't until I reached my late 20s that I realized that I was burning myself out. I was suffering from serious bouts of anxiety, and I had a really toxic relationship with work. And while I didn't totally sacrifice my life for the sake of work, I often came far too close. If I could make one change about those years, it's that I would have paced myself a little bit more. I would have learned to slow down much sooner, and I would have tried to balance my mental health with my ambitions. I'm sure if I tried again 100 times, I would mess up 99 times. But hopefully you can learn a few things from my mistakes. It's difficult to come back from burnout. It's even more difficult to reverse the effects of anxiety. And I know this to be true because it's something that I'm still working on. Number 7, how to cook simple, nutritious meals. When I graduated, I only knew 2 staple recipes for my diet, and one of them was mixed protein powder with water. It took me a few years of eating and feeling terrible before I was able to start to turn things around. And one of the biggest game changers for me was to come up with a few simple but nutritious recipes that I could have on rotation. Now, this is gonna require some trial and error for you since everyone's different and there are so many diets and preferences out there. Some people thrive by going vegan, others prefer high protein. To get started, you need to first unlearn everything you were taught in middle school about the food pyramid, then get a basic understanding of macronutrients. Those are carbs, fats, and proteins. And make sure that you're getting enough of each of these into your diet. And right now is when the keto bros are rolling their eyes. Bro, you don't need carbs. I haven't had a carb in like 6 years, and I honestly feel so good. One of the best purchases that I made right out of college when I definitely didn't have the money was a Vitamix. For the past 10 years, this blender has helped me to introduce fruit, vegetables, and vitamins effortlessly into my diet through my daily green smoothies. I typically throw in an entire bag of spinach, a couple apples, bananas, and an orange. And I have 3 smoothies for the next couple days. Another go-to meal I make is cooking up a protein with veggies. Whether it's chicken, fish, or steak, I frequently cook up a protein in addition to sauteing a side of veggies. Here's some quick advice to keep you on track. Ditch the canned and frozen vegetables and go for fresh. Go organic if you can afford it. And if you're burning your food on the stovetop, it's because your heat is too high. So turn it down to medium-low after you get a good char going. Number 8, basic fitness advice. In addition to implementing some simple, nutritious meals into your life, fitness is another area that's often overlooked in college. Starting a fitness routine for the first time can be a truly intimidating experience. Take going to the gym, for instance. The equipment alone can look like a torture device brought back from medieval times. And then you have the chiseled athletes that are so comfortable in the gym, it feels like you're trespassing on their private property. But whether you're just getting started at the gym or picking up any other fitness habit, here's some advice that will help you get started on the right foot. First, you have nothing to be afraid of. Most people are so focused on themselves, they won't even notice you, and that's a good thing. So don't worry about feeling lost because everyone has to get started somewhere. And in my experience, the vast majority of people would love nothing more than to help out a newbie. So if you're feeling confused about some cable system at the gym, don't be afraid to ask for help. Next, go low, slow, and steady. You need to remove your ego from the equation. Start with a routine that feels easy, whether it's a lower weight than your max or a quarter of the distance you know you can run. Ironically, the slower that you start, the quicker that you can build momentum. And finally, if you're not enjoying it, you haven't found the right routine yet. If you've been exercising for 3 to 6 months and you absolutely hate your fitness routine, then you're likely doing it wrong. Your workout should be something that you look forward to, not dread. So experiment until you find something that feels right. Fitness is one of those domino habits that has a way of impacting every other area of your life. So if you're looking to make a big change this year, I recommend that you start here. Number 9. Self-awareness. Some of us are lucky enough to get our first few lessons in self-awareness early in life. From the time that we enroll in middle school, we start to get a taste of how we stack up in the world around us. And that maybe our parents are a little bit biased. Maybe we're not the strongest kid in class. Maybe we aren't the smartest, the most gifted, or have the biggest biceps. And while this might be a bitter pill to swallow, it helps us to identify the greatest areas of potential growth. Unfortunately, a lot of people never get this lesson. Instead of learning about the areas where they can improve themselves, they bury the truth. They mask over their faults and fears and live in their own altered state of reality. But learning more about ourselves, our insecurities, our motivations, passions, and desires is vital to living a meaningful life. When we dig deep and ask difficult questions about the life we want to build for ourselves, we can actually start to put together a vision for where we need to go. Number 10. College isn't actually supposed to teach you everything. Okay, so at this point in the video, you might be getting the vibe that I don't exactly support the idea of college, and that's not totally true. I think college has the opportunity to be a game changer for lots of students who aren't yet ready to start their careers or don't know what they want to do in life. But the curriculum and cost needs a massive rehaul in order to actually provide a return on investment. I can tell you from my experience that I definitely didn't get 6 figures worth of value from college. But I should be clear that I don't think that means that we should be spending our time in university learning how to make a green smoothie. I mean, you've got YouTube videos for that. But one thing they absolutely should teach students is how to be self-reliant. College was never supposed to teach you everything, and if you were expecting your syllabus to do that, you were probably severely disappointed. From the moment that you throw your graduation cap in the air, you're largely on your own. The sooner that sinks in, the more you can set yourself up on the path to find success, happiness, massive biceps, and to even learn how to pay off all that debt you accumulated for going to college in the first place. I hope this video helped. Good luck, and I'll see you next time.